my name is Daryl, and this is Programming in Any Language. We're working on C# right now, but the principles are all the same in all languages. Master these principles, and you can easily jump to any other language quickly. Different approach today. Up to now, we've been learning. Today, we're going to put together what we've learned into a professional application. I know we've only scratched the surface of programming at this point, but we have learned an amazing amount of stuff. Enough stuff to build something practical. Consider a flashcard generator. You may have a son, daughter, niece, nephew who might be learning addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division in school. How about jump-starting their education? Here's an app that can help them with that learning. This is our flashcard generator. It doesn't function any differently, really, from the math pieces we've been looking at the last couple of weeks. Add, subtract, multiply, divide, and so on down the line. What is different, though, is this is prepared for a user. It's got the code to make it work, but it's also got a lot of niceties which make this thing easy to use for the user. Instructions, it's self-explanatory in most cases. If we take a look at it, it's going to generate a maximum numbers in these boxes right here. How's it doing that? Well, we got to learn something. We're going to learn about how the random number generator works. So that's something new you're going to be picking up as you do this kind of thing. Other than that, that's it. Except maybe some cosmetic things that make this thing look good, you might be learning as well. As we see from the start of this thing, we can enter the maximum number to generate. So for right here, we're just going to be able to put in, say, let's put a 10. That means the numbers that are going to be generated by the random number generator are never going to be higher than 10. So we'll start that, and notice how it goes away. You don't see that anymore, and your numbers are generated. We have 7 and 9 generated right up here. We can do add, subtraction, multiplication, or division on these things based on these operations right here, and the answer should appear right over here. And it states for the user right here, press the operations button to display the answer. Well, let's say we want to add these things. Well, being a flashcard generator, we're going to try to guess what this is. 9 plus 7 is 16. Hey, I was right. Cool, great. Now, continue button pops up there, and it says press continue for a new set of numbers. So it's given the user instructions again. So hit continue on this thing. A new set is generated automatically. Press the operations button to select an answer. We want to try subtraction this time. 2 minus 7. Wow, minus 5 maybe? Yeah, look at that. Minus 5 pops up here in the answer. So press continue to have a new set of numbers. We'll continue again. Still we got 1 and 9. We could try the multiplication key and see how that works. Hit that, and we get 9. That's true. Okay, great, good, that's great. Now we got 7 divided by 3. What's going to happen to this if we use the division sign right here? So we'll click on the division sign, and what it does, it gives us 2 with a remainder of 1. So the modules is coming into play here as well to show them that there is a remainder in this division, allowing it to do this. So continue. We'll try division again. 9 divided by 7. 1 or the remainder of 2. So that's working out nice. We want to clear and start over. We hit clear. It gives us the start button again. This time we can go to 100 or some other number and hit start. And now the numbers being generated are somewhere between 0 and 100. We can do an addition on these. We get answers to that. We can do a clear again, and we end up maybe 1,000. We can make it very, very complex with 23 and 329. It's an addition is 352. Pretty cool. 206 divided by 308. What if division is going to happen here? Well, it's 0, but a remainder of 206. Continue. Another big one for multiplication. Very large number. 84942. We might want to widen this maybe a little bit, but this looks like it's going to be right. Or we might want to format this with commas and things of that nature. But right now, it gives us that answer. In a flashcard situation, we probably want to go this high anyway. That's really the extent of it, though. It's a nice little application that's concise, has all the instructions for the user. They're not going to get confused by it, and things disappear when we don't need them, and they appear when we do need them, like the continue sign and so on the line. If I want to continue again, I can do that. Or if I want to simply get out, I can hit exit, and out we go. The program ends. That's really what it is. Well, what do we need to take away from this little demo? For one thing, we need to learn how the random number generator works. Except for the user entering the maximum number for the range of numbers generated, there's really no human entry in this application. The numbers are generated automatically. So how does that work? It's the random number generator. C# provides a random class that allows us to generate random numbers. Random numbers are used for many different programming tasks. They're used in games such as card games, rolling dice. They're also used in simulation programs. For example, you might have a set of messages you want to appear on random on a screen for an advertising thing. Random numbers fit the bill. They're also used in security programs to encrypt sensitive information. So something worth learning. Let's take a look at how we use the random class. The random number generator is not really hard to use. It's actually kind of simple. But I want to go through the process just so you get an idea of what it might look like. I'm going to create a form here. I'm going to put a couple things on it. I want to put in, let's say, a button, which I'll put right down here. We'll name it later and decide what we're going to do with it. I also want to put down a label to display what we might have here. So I've got this going right here. Let's actually make this label. Take the auto size off of it, and let's just kind of create something. Let's give it a bigger font too, so we can see this thing easily. Make it bold and make it 12, and it should be fine right there like that. That looks pretty good. Let's give it a border too, so it's got something behind it. Border style right here. 6 singles, fine. The button I want to do the same thing for. I want to create the font on this thing so we can see that. Make it bold and make it 12, and let's give it something in front. Let's maybe call it go. Just call it a go button more than anything else, and we're gonna then name it. We got a Hungarian notation name, so I've got that in place, calling it BTN Go. And up here, I'm going to call this label out. LBL OUT. And I'm also going to clear let's center the, oops, I want to highlight it. I want to center get rid of the text. Well, first of all, let's center it. You see where it's going to be. That looks good right there. And we're going to take it and remove the text. We really don't need that anymore. And we'll kind of put these things together just to make it look nice. Always nice to align these things so the centers are together maybe, and then put them on the form together so nice and centered out here too. So now that we're doing anything special with this, center horizontally, center it vertically, and now we've got our things looking kind of nice. I don't have an exit sign or anything like that. We're just going to look at random numbers right now. The thing I want to do is I want to be able to generate random numbers and have them appear here every time I press this go button. Now, how do we do that? Well, for starters, we're going to have to go into the code. I'm going to double click on the go button right now so we can go into our code for a second and see what we've got here. And we'll have nothing. You know, we've got nothing in here. But up on top, I'm going to create the random class. That's what I need to get. I'm going to put it into the global area up here so it can be seen by any other routines I might put. I could put it down here in the button go thing. That's perfectly fine too. But I'm going to do it right up here. The way you get the random class going is you say random, and you give it a name, a variable name of some kind. For the sake of anything, I'm going to call it Bozo. And then I'm going to say equals new random. And that generates my class. And that gives it to me right there. Now I can access it from anywhere. I'm also going to do something else. I want to create a variable called max. Int max. And this is going to be my number generator, how much I'm going to actually use here. I'm going to give it a value of 10 and set it up there. I'm going to give it a little comment here saying this is going to be max numbers to generate. And we'll make changes to this as we go along. Now, when I create a random number using Bozo here, I need to put it into another variable. So I'm going to put that variable probably down here because this is where I'm going to actually be using it. So I'm going to set up a variable right in here called int new number. And we'll just leave it like this by placing it like that. Now, in order to generate a random number, I need to call our little Bozo up here. And the way we do that is we set the variable int new number, and we make it equal to, and we say bozo dot next, and that's going to generate a new number in there. Now let's display it right away and put it inside our label. So we're going to say that our label out dot text is equal to int new number to string. That's it. That's all we need to do. This actually creates the code for us right there. So this generates the number right here. Let's mark that down. That generate the random number. And right here, display that number. Now let's save all this and see if this works. We'll run the application. Up it pops. We'll just say go. And we get this large number in here. Why are we getting this large number in here? It's because we didn't limit what we've actually got in here. So let's close this off once. And go into here, and inside this parentheses, we're going to put this variable, int max. We can also put this 10 in there if we wanted to. We'll say int max. Now we're going to be limiting that to a number between 0 and 10. Remember, 0 and 10, between 0 and 10, from 0 up to 10. Well, you won't see a 10 pop up here. We'll do a save on this thing again. Do a save all, and do a run. What do we get? Hit go, we get a 9. Hit it again, we get a 9. We get a 1. We hit an 8. We get a 0. We get a 2. We get a 9. We get a 7. We get a 4. If we wanted to change this now to an 11, we'll now be able to see our 10s pop in here. Start the application again. 3, 9, 1, 8, 6, 10, 9, 0, 0, 0, 2, 9, all random. That's basically as easy as it is to actually do that. So it's not all that bad. Now let's do something a little different. We've got this number up here, and we've got our go button right here. What I'd like to do now is go into our code and add ourselves another variable. In fact, another random number generator. I'm going to create another one called random, and we'll call this BBL bozo. So it's another random number generator. Just take a second one. Just like we put multiple text boxes on the screen, we can set up multiple random number generators. That's easy enough to do. In this case, we're going to try and set up a double. And to do that, we're going to have to create a variable for it. And we'll do that down in here. And we're going to say int, or we're going to say DBL. Not double bozo, DBL new number. This will be a double number. We're actually I need to spell double out here. That's right. It's not so easy to do. D-U-B-L-E. There we go. Now it's happy. Forget about that. Int does abbreviate. Double doesn't. So now we've created a second integer down here. What I'm doing now is I'm going to actually modify this code. I'm going to say DBL new number is equal to DBL bozo dot next double and just leave it like this. What this is going to do, if I can ever get this comment over here, there we go. it's going to generate a double between 0.0 up to 1.0. Does not include 1.0. We got an error here. What's our error? New double number does not exist. New number, new DLB. Oh, God, because I can't spell. That's why. Okay. There we go. Fix that up. Now it's squared away. This is going to create that. I'm going to actually give myself some space here because I don't want this label to spot out something a little bit different here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to set up one more integer called DBL sum, and leave it like this, DBL sum. I'm then going to say DBL sum is equal to int new number plus DBL new number. And then I'm going to display DBL sum. Oops. Do this from scratch here. DBL sum. String. And I got to put my semicolon in here. What it's going to do now, it's going to create a random double number. The new random of setting up a double is going to create something between 0.0 and 1.0, not including 1.0. You can have 0.999, whatever. And we're going to add that to our random number that's generated up here, and then display that. So our results are going to be some kind of a double showing up. I'm missing a... I've got an error down here. Let's make sure my brace... Oh, I'm missing a brace. Yeah, I'm missing a brace. Must have got left out somehow. This can happen. Be careful of that when that happens. You got to make sure. That's why we like to indent them so they pop up nicely. Let's do a file save. Let's do a run. And see how this works. And I'll do a go. 9.89, whatever. 2 point something. It's creating a random number with decimal places in it. A random double is what's happening here. And you notice that the integer piece is between 1 and 10. If I could make this bigger, I certainly can by changing my max to 100. And now it's going to generate numbers, still doubles, with a 3-digit, with 3 digits up front, up to 3 digits up front. Well, 2 digits, really. 78.1, 0 point, there's a 0, there's a 1 point, there's a 32 point, all that kind of stuff. We can even format this stuff. And we'll say toString N2. Now do a file save and do a run. And now we actually got it down to 2 decimal places. We can round this thing off. So we're showing a nice double like this. 100.00, how rare is that? 5.06, 76.576. All randomized. And so on down the line. So that's it. That's all you need to know. Random numbers are very, very easy to generate. It doesn't take a lot of code or anything. You just need to set up the class, pull it down, give it a variable name of some kind, and then make use of that name down in the line that actually creates it. We're doing a next, giving it a range you want to do, or a next double, which will give you something between 0.0 and 1.0, not including 1.0, which you can add to an integer and then create a random double. That's all it takes. That's how random numbers are generated. In our next session, we'll complete the things we need to create the flashcard application. In fact, we'll start building it. Besides the random numbers, we'll need to check out how to make buttons and labels go from visible to invisible and back, as well as having buttons enabled and unenabled. All cosmetic stuff, but cosmetic stuff's important. We need to explore this so our application looks good. For now, we've got to start in this app. It's in our heads. Next, we try to design it. What you need to take out of this video is 1. A basic understanding of the random class. 2. An understanding of how to generate random integers. And 3. An understanding of how to generate random doubles. We're getting close to writing that actual application, which we'll do next time. So get ready for the next time we meet. See you next time. Thanks for watching. If you get a chance, please subscribe.